In this video we are going to talk about the Broadcom stock. So before starting this video, please like this video and subscribe to our channel for future updates. The stock of Broadcom, Nasdaq, AVGO, has tripled in the last 5 years as the wireless chipmaker formerly known as AVGO aggressively expanded through large acquisitions. AVGO bought the original Broadcom in 2016, changed its name to AVGO, then bought Brocade, a network equipment manufacturer, in 2017. By acquiring CA Technologies in 2018 and Symantec's corporate security unit in 2019, the new Broadcom has moved into the infrastructure software sector. It even made a hostile bid for Qualcomm, Nasdaq, QCOM, before the Trump administration vetoed the deal. Broadcom Company Profile. Broadcom Inc. is a company that creates, develops, and sells semiconductor infrastructure software. It sells semiconductor devices all around the world, with a concentration on complicated digital and mixed-signal complementary metal oxide semiconductor devices, as well as analog EV products. Customers can plan, create, automate, manage, and secure applications using the company's infrastructure software solutions on mainframe, distributed, mobile, and cloud platforms. Investors may be hesitant to buy Broadcom following its multi-year surge, but at 16 times forward earnings and a 3.3% ahead yield, the company still appears shockingly cheap. Let's look into why Broadcom might still have opportunity to grow. A well-diversified company with a popular top customer. Broadcom's primary semiconductor division, which manufactures a variety of wireless chips for a variety of industries, accounted for 77% of the company's sales last year. The remaining 23% comes primarily from its infrastructure software division. Apple, Nasdaq, AAPL, is Broadcom's most important customer, accounting for 20% of its revenue last year. That's still a thorny relationship. Apple contracted in January to acquire $15 billion in wireless components from Broadcom over the next 3.5 years, according to Broadcom. Over the next 3 years, that sum should account for approximately a fifth of Broadcom's revenue. Broadcom's reliance on Apple may lessen as it sells more chips to other customers, but it should continue to be a major participant in the iPhone supply chain for the foreseeable future. While iPhone sales have slowed, demand for Apple's first 5G phone, the iPhone 12, is expected to boost Broadcom's chip-making business next year. Broadcom also makes chips for telecommunications, data centers, and cloud providers. Its semiconductors enable faster wired and wireless networks, and it packages its infrastructure software with its silicon to broaden its moat against competitors like Cisco. Broadcom is a fabless chipmaker, which means it outsources chip production to another foundry, which is less capital-intensive than manufacturing chips in-house. The majority of Broadcom's chips are made by TSMC, the world's largest contract chipmaker. How fast is Broadcom growing? Broadcom's sales increased by 8% in fiscal 2019 as its data center semiconductor and infrastructure software businesses grew rapidly. Its adjusted EPS, which eliminates acquisition-related costs, increased by 2%. In the first 9 months of 2020, Broadcom's revenue increased by 4% year-over-year. Due to pandemic-related disruptions, its semiconductor sales fell, but its acquisition of Symantec's enterprise security company, which concluded in November, bolstered its infrastructure revenue. In the second and third quarters, Broadcom's network and broadband chip sales steadied, while total semiconductor revenue increased sequentially in the third quarter. Broadcom's telecom and cloud customers aided this recovery by upgrading their networks to meet the increased bandwidth demands for remote work and other online activities. Cloud clients bought more Tomahawk 3 and Trident 3 switches, while telecom clients bought more of its Jericho 2 high-speed routing solution for core and edge networks. As the effects of the pandemic fade, infrastructure upgrades continue, and new 5G devices hit the market, Broadcom anticipates its growth to accelerate. At the midpoint, it anticipates fourth quarter revenue to increase 11% year-over-year and adjusted EBITDA to increase 18%. Broadcom's revenue and earnings are expected to increase by 6% and 3%, respectively, this year, according to analysts. As the pandemic passes and the aforementioned secular tailwinds intensify again, they anticipate a 9% increase in revenue and a 16% increase in profitability next year. Free cash flow is increasing, and dividends are remaining stable. In each of the first 3 quarters of 2020, Broadcom paid out $1.3 billion in dividends. Those payments were readily covered by the company's free cash flow, which has been steadily increasing over the past year. Broadcom only spent 48% of its FCF on dividends in the last year. This leaves plenty of room for the chipmaker to maintain its 9-year trend of yearly dividend increases. Due to its aggressive acquisitions, Broadcom still owing $44 billion in debt at the end of the third quarter, although just $800 million of that debt expires within a year. The company's $13.9 billion in liquidity, which includes $8.9 billion in cash and a $5 billion revolving credit line, can comfortably repay that short-term debt. The 28 brokerages that are currently covering Broadcom Inc., NASDAQ, AVGO, have given the company a consensus recommendation of buy. 5 equities research analysts have given the stock a hold rating, while 20 have given the firm a buy recommendation. Analysts that have covered the stock in the previous year have an average 12-month price target of $491.38. Broadcom is a good buy, but you should hold off until it reaches bottom. AVGO has received support from a number of research firms. In a research report issued on Tuesday, March 2, Cowen raised their target price on Broadcom from $415 to $470 and given the stock a market perform rating. In a research report issued on Friday, June 4, Mizuho raised their target price on Broadcom from $490 to $520 and gave the stock a buy rating. In a research report issued on Friday, June 4, Wells Fargo & Company raised their target price on Broadcom from $450 to $475 and assigned the stock a equal weight rating. In a research note issued on Friday, June 4, Citigroup restated a buy recommendation on Broadcom and set a $528 target price, up from $500 earlier. Finally, in a research released on Tuesday, March 2, Credit Suisse Group raised their price target on Broadcom from $480 to $580 and gave the firm a outperform rating. Broadcom's stock has traded between $292.41 and $495.14 in the last year. The debt-to-equity ratio of the company is 1.68, the quick ratio is 2.06, and the current ratio is 2.21. With a market capitalization of $194.28 billion, a price-to-earnings ratio of 44.35, a P/E/G ratio of 1.30, and a beta of 0.93, the business has a price-to-earnings ratio of 44.35. The 50-day simple moving average for the company is $461.47. Broadcom, NASDAQ, AVGO, released its most recent quarterly results report on June 2. The semiconductor company reported $6.62 EPS for the quarter, 19 cents higher than the average estimate of $6.43. During the quarter, the company generated $6.61 billion in revenue, compared to analyst estimates of $6.51 billion. Broadcom earned a 19.11% net margin and a 41.39% return on equity. Broadcom's revenue increased by 15.1% year-over-year. The company earned $5.14 per share in the same quarter last year. Broadcom is expected to earn 24.06 EPS this fiscal year, according to sell-side analysts. In addition, the company just announced a quarterly dividend, which will be paid on June 30. A $3.60 dividend will be paid to stockholders of record on Tuesday, June 22. On an annualized basis, this equates to a $14.40 dividend and a dividend yield of 3.03%. This dividend's ex-dividend date is Monday, June 21. The dividend payout ratio, DPR, of Broadcom is 78.05%. In related news, on Tuesday, March 23, Director Eddie W. Hartenstein sold 530 shares of the company's stock. The shares were sold for a total of $248,835 at an average price of $469.50. The transaction was revealed in a document filed with the Securities and Exchange Commission, which may be found here. In addition, on Monday, March 29, Director Harry L. Yu sold 100 shares of the company's stock. The shares were sold for a total of $47,423 at an average price of $474.23. This sales disclosure may be found here. Over the last quarter, insiders sold 11,170 shares of company stock worth $5,185,446. 2.40% of the company's stock is owned by insiders. A number of institutional investors and hedge funds have recently changed their AVGO holdings. During the first quarter, Phoenix Wealth Advisors increased its holdings in Broadcom by 200.0%. After purchasing an additional 38 shares during the period, Phoenix Wealth Advisors now owns 57 shares of the semiconductor manufacturer's stock, valued at $27,000. During the first quarter, Shorehaven Wealth Partners LLC bought a new position in Broadcom worth about $27,000. During the first quarter, Solstein Capital LLC bought a new investment in Broadcom for around $29,000. During the first quarter, Wealthcare Capital Management LLC bought a new position in Broadcom for $31,000. Finally, during the fourth quarter, Baron Silver Stevens Financial Advisors LLC took a new position in Broadcom valued around $29,000. Hedge funds and other institutional investors own 81.51% of the stock. What are your thoughts on our video? Please let us know in the comments section below. If you enjoyed this video and would like to hear from me again, please subscribe and turn on the notification before leaving. Thank you for watching us.